Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Yugeshni. I make videos here on YouTube about faith, health and mindset. Today I'm going to share with you the many reasons why I keep learning. Let's get into it. I'm somebody who loves knowing stuff, and it's not so that I can tell everybody, oh my god, look how much I know, because ever since I started learning, I've come to realize that I actually know very, very little. And the more I learn, the more I realize that I know very, very little. And there will never come a day where I think I know a lot of stuff, because there's just too much to know. And I will never be able to know everything. Nobody can. That's not the point. I just like learning because I want to know how things work, how the world works, how people work, how our bodies work. All of that is extremely fascinating to me, and that is the main driving force for me, or it was the main driving force for me, to encourage me to keep learning, to keep finding out. But when I became a Muslim in 2013, I had to obviously learn the religion, like everything that encompasses Islam. So that just was obvious that I would need to learn all of that. But I think that's really when the hard learning started. And that kind of was the kickoff for me, because we know in Islam, at least, we're told that learning is a duty upon us. So we actually have to do it. We have to keep seeking knowledge. Of course, you don't have to learn everything all at once really quickly. And I think for most of us converts, like when we come into the religion, that's literally what we do. We're just trying to absorb as much information as we possibly can, as quickly as we can. And sometimes that can be really overwhelming. And that was certainly the case for me. I went in all guns blazing, just wanted to know everything, like all at once. And then it just felt like a mental overload. So it was too much, too soon. But that kind of taught me a good lesson about pace and the reason why I learn things and what I'm trying to achieve by learning information. Now that was specifically to do with Islam, because I had just come into the religion and I was learning all that. But I've kind of gone further than that now. So it's not like, oh yeah, I learned everything about Islam and I'm done. No, I'll never be done. But our religion, subhanAllah, it's not just about rules and regulations. Like, our religion is actually a way of life. And everything that we're told in our religion encompasses everything in the world around us, our health, our fitness, the environment that we live in. There's so much to learn about everything. And Islam really put that passion in me, because the more I started to learn about the religion, the more I realized all of these things. Like, I never paid attention to the world around me. I never paid attention to health and fitness. I never paid attention to how people think and how people behave. And when coming into the religion, it kind of triggered all of this within me. And so that was the first thing that made me want to know more about everything in this life. Back in 2016, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. And at that point, it was kind of like another trigger point for me, I guess. At that point, I realized that I actually did not know anything when it comes to health. Like, I didn't know how my own body worked. I didn't know how it was supposed to work. I didn't know anything. Like, when I went into the doctor and they would ask me all these questions about when was the date of your last period, I didn't even have that basic information, because I wasn't paying attention to anything. To me, I was just like living life, not really caring about anything. And it was a huge wake-up call for me when I got this diagnosis, because I realized I don't actually know anything about anything, not just about health. It's like, I don't know how to take care of myself. I don't know anything about life. I don't know anything about my body. I don't know anything about medicine. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. I felt like I knew nothing. And I was just like, okay, clearly I cannot continue living like this, because it is not benefiting me. And if anything, it's holding me back. And that's something that has stuck with me today, because I realize that when I know better, I can do better. So everything that I'm learning, everything that I'm trying to understand is going to benefit me in some way, shape or form. And that to me is just like everything. Like, I want to know everything around me. I want to know how this world works. I want to know how my body works. I want to know everything. I make a genuine effort to actually learn more. And sometimes I stumble across things, but sometimes it just ends up in my lap. Like, I don't know. These things just come to me. Like, I get notifications about this lecture happening and it's for free. So I'll go. It might be something like I would never have thought about, but I'll be like, okay, I might learn something new. What's the worst case scenario? I go there and I listen to somebody for maybe an hour. Surely I would come back with like something that I didn't know. That's kind of mentality that I have. I attended a lecture that was about parenting. I'm not a parent. I don't have kids. And, I have no such plans for the near future. But I was like, okay, I might learn something. I might come back with some interesting information. I learned so much in that one lecture, not just about being a parent, but how humans work and understanding that, like, from seeing children and how they behave and how that kind of carries on into adulthood helped me to understand adults a lot more. So even from that, I benefited. And there's so much information out there for free. These days we have podcasts where we have really knowledgeable people who have done a lot of studies, who, are professors and doctors and all these kind of things that are out there just providing this information for free. And I'm like, yeah, I want to know all that. Like the most common, I would say, health information probably comes from Andrew Huberman, his podcast, which to me is just so fascinating because he talks about, the brain and the body and the science behind it and how we work. And every time I learn these things, it's not like I retain all of the information of the things that I learn. I wish I could, but I think there are certain points that always stick out for me, usually the ones that, I think will benefit me the most. I remember those things and I try to apply like these things in my life in order to better myself. Learning all the stuff literally for free from podcasts, from lectures, from other people. Like even when I'm going to my doctor, I'm learning from her. Like I ask specific questions. Like I don't just go there and have a complaint and be like, yeah, give me this medicine, fix me. I actually want to understand what is going on and I want information. I want to learn. To me, a doctor is a health consultant. Like I want to consult with her. I want to say, okay, I'm having this problem right now, but I don't understand why. And okay, you have these many treatment options. Let's discuss all of them so I can see what's the best for me. For me, it's a consultation. We work together. It's not me going there and having the doctor make all the decisions for me. The decision should be made together based on information that she provides me. So I need to understand. And I am not like some super genius. There are things that I will never be able to understand. I don't have a qualification, in any health thing. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not anything. I don't have any such qualifications. So there are things that I'm not going to be able to understand. But whatever I can understand from a layman's perspective, the basics, I want to know it because I need to be informed about everything, especially if it's something about my own health. Like I need to know how to make decisions for myself and not rely on somebody else to make a decision. I'm like, they might be giving me this treatment plan because they think it's best, but they might not have told me all the side effects. Like they might not have told me that there could be other options. I need to know that. And if they're not able to provide me that information, then I'm going to go away and I'm going to research and I'm going to go find out. Especially when it comes to health, because you have to remember when you go to the doctor is expecting that you've come in here for a medicine to quickly fix your problems. And I'm not that kind of patient. I don't go in there and be like, yeah, write me this prescription, fix me, and I'm leaving. Like for me, using medicine is never my first option. I want to see if there's something else that I can do first, if there's some kind of natural remedy, if there's some kind of lifestyle change that I can make. I will always choose that first before I go to a medicine. That is my personal preference because I know now from past experience that medicines come with their own side effects, especially if you're going to use something long term, and I don't want to go down that route if there's something else that I can do. Even if that natural option is going to take a bit longer, if it's something that I can actually implement in my life, I'm going to take that option first. And that will always be the case for me now. And that's literally based on experience, and that's literally based on everything that I've learned from all these podcasts and all these lectures that I have gone to. So this is what I mean. Knowledge has really benefited me so much. The way in which I operate, the way in which I think is completely different now because I know better, so I can do better. Another thing that I kind of learned recently is that we don't only learn from books or from podcasts and lectures. We actually learn from other people. And this is something I really took for granted. I think it's mostly because I'm kind of a loner, and I always was like that. Like, interacting with people was always difficult for me. But over the last couple of years, I've made a significant effort to interact more with people. And literally by just interacting with people, having conversations, I've learned so much from other people. And I really see the benefit in that now. Like, even in this format, there are heaps of people on YouTube who are sharing their experiences and things that they've learned. I've learned so much from that. We can learn so much from other people just by speaking to them, just by knowing what they have gone through, the things that they have tried. It doesn't matter whether it's about health or faith or whatever. We've all had experience, and we've all gone through ups and downs. And when you talk to people, when you listen to what they have to say, you actually learn so much from that. And also you kind of get to understand the human mind and the human body better, and how everybody is different, and that's not a bad thing. I've just learned so much from other people. I really see the benefit in that now, and I make more effort to talk to people. And I'm talking about deep talks, not like, oh, hi, how are you? Not just that, but okay, so you're struggling with this in your life right now, or you feel like you're having a mental health dip right now, or your depression is really bad right now. Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening with you? Like, really listening to what people have to say. And even like, it doesn't necessarily have to be something bad, it could be like just them talking about their childhood or their experience with their parents. Maybe they had really strict parents, and now they sort of notice that their personality has been shaped because their parents were so strict with them. Whatever it is, everybody has a story. Everybody has something that they've gone through. We all have traumas. We all have great things that have happened to us too. All of these things have shaped us in our lives and has taught us a lesson. And when you start listening to other people's stories, you see those lessons too. And the funny thing is that our brain is primed for learning, especially in the storytelling format, which is why we love stories so much, we love movies so much, and even all of our books, right? All religious books, they're all written in a storytelling way. We're always given examples of stories. Even in Islam, we have the stories of all the prophets. They all teach us something. Each and every prophet has their own personality, had their own challenges, had everything that, that they had to go through in order to learn something. And from us reading their story, we have benefited and we have learned from that. Well, guess what? You can do that with everyday people as well. So when you're listening to other people, you're learning from them. That's literally what's happening. I think something that has been a big takeaway for me is that the more that I learn, the closer I feel to God. And that's not necessarily, me learning stuff about Islam, but even when I learn things like astronomy, okay, I don't know that much, but the few pieces of information that I've learned that I think are absolutely mind-blowing has just brought me closer to God. Because every time I learn something, whether it's about the stars, whether it's about my own body, whether it's about mental health, whether it's about fitness, whether it's about the fact that your body can grow new bone after it's been broken, all of these things are absolutely mind-blowing to me, and all of it brings me closer to God because I understand that God has designed every single one of these things. God has designed everything, and his design is so perfect and we don't even realize it. And when we learn all of these things and our mind is constantly blown, which is the case for me pretty much every day, I'm just like, subhanallah, I cannot believe like these things exist, or it's just amazing to me. And I think, wow, I can't believe God made this. I can't believe God designed things to work in this way. Like, it's absolutely amazing, and I appreciate it so much more because I know, one, that he designed it, but two, that he designed it for us. Literally everything on this earth, was created for us. Our own bodies were created for us. And once you realize the way in which everything works, how can you not love your Lord? How can you not understand how merciful your Lord is and how amazing He is to have given you all of these things? Every little thing that I learn, it just brings me so much closer to God. Before I leave, I'm going to share with you the last thing that I learned that I found very interesting. I watched this podcast from a sports scientist, and she studies performance of female athletes. And she was talking about menopause and how menopause affects the female body in terms of muscle loss and things like bone density. And I learned that when we go into menopause, we actually lose a third of our bone density. So it decreases, right? So it puts us at a risk of having weak bones. However, if we train in a certain way to strengthen our muscle and our bone, we won't be as affected when we go into menopause. The interesting thing about all of this is the type of training that she recommended. She said we need to cause impact to our bones in order to strengthen them. I was mind blown because for me, I always thought heavy impact on your bones is a bad thing for longevity. That if you impact your bones a lot, then you're gonna have joint problems, and you're not gonna have a good time in your when you're old. Basically, not gonna be able to walk again because you've just impacted your bones so much. That's what I used to think, and the actual truth is the complete opposite of that. So I'm just like, subhanallah, okay, this is great that I found out this information. So now I'm going to start implementing. I haven't reached menopause yet, obviously. I'm too young for that. But I'm going to start implementing these things in my life. So I'm probably going to do skipping because it's the easiest type of impact that I can handle in order to continuously impact my bone to help me in the long run. And that's the last interesting thing that I learned literally 2 days ago. So if you're a woman and you haven't reached menopause yet, maybe that's something that will help you. You can go and look it up. Don't just take my word for it. There's a lot of information about that right now, things that you can do to help you once you get into menopause. So yeah, go find out about that. It's very interesting. Anyway, I hope you have benefited from this video. I would love it if you would share in the comments something interesting that you learned recently. Hey, we can learn from each other. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.